If you're running an online business, search rankings are super important. The more people that see your site, the better. The more customers you're going to have, the more sales you're going to have. So if you're taking a dip in search rankings, it can be super frustrating, but have no fear. Today I'm going to go over 5 things that might be causing your website to dip in search rankings and what you can do to fix them. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Barbara Delicio and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to go over 5 things that could be causing your website to dip in search rankings. These things are usually design related, to be honest with you. Now Google is so sophisticated that the design of your website really has an impact on SEO. So the first thing that I want to cover is the overall design of the site. If your pages are cluttered, your navigation is confusing, things are out of place and not easy to find, people are going to just simply give up and go somewhere else. So what does that do to Google? Well, when Google sees that somebody goes to a website and then quickly comes off of it, that's called a bounce. And high bounce rates actually have a huge impact on your overall SEO. So that could actually be hurting your rankings. So what can you do to fix this? Well, clean up your website. Make things a lot easier to find. Make sure that the navigation makes sense for people and you don't have a bunch of things all over the place. The simpler your website are nowadays, the better. You really want to make sure that people are finding things quickly and easily. So those are some of the things that you can do as far as the design goes of your website to help boost your search rankings. So the second thing that I want to go over is content. Now, content is super important just for an overall branding perspective. You want to make sure that you're getting your message across and that people are really connecting with what you have to say. But from an SEO standpoint, content really does matter nowadays. Google likes pages that are longer because it shows that people are staying on the pages for a longer amount of time. And that really nowadays has a huge impact on SEO. So if you can make your pages longer and more informative, that's going to help your search rankings. So if there's certain pages on your website where you could add some content or maybe change some things around, definitely consider doing that. If your about page is just an image of you and then a couple paragraphs of text, that's kind of boring, and let's be honest, most people are probably not going to read through all those paragraphs of text. So if you can break that content up, make it a little more interesting, call out different points, that's going to make people scroll longer and stay on your pages because they're going to be more interesting. So those are different ways that you can work on the content of your website. If you have a blog, when it comes to content now, you actually want your posts to be longer than you maybe have been doing in the past. So in the past, 350 words was kind of the standard for blog posts, but Google is saying now that they want blog posts to be more meaty, so over like 1,000 words. So that's really changed our own marketing strategy. We used to put out blogs that were a little bit shorter and more often. We would do a blog post once a week that was like 350 words. But now we're actually not posting blogs as much, but the blog posts that we are posting are a lot more informative, a lot longer, a lot more in depth. So that's a way that you can kind of change up your blogging strategy if you do have a blog to make your posts a little bit more informative, a little bit longer, and then that will help your search rankings as well. So this kind of goes into the third point that I want to talk about, and that is just that there's no new content on your website. Google likes web pages that have fresh content on them. So if you threw up your website a year ago and that was it, you haven't touched it in a while, it's time to go back in and see if you can make some updates to the pages. Maybe there's things that you can add, maybe some things have changed in your business. These are all things that when you add them to your website, Google notices, oh, they made an update, and then they take that into account as far as search rankings go. So take an audit of what's currently on your website and see if there's any improvements or changes that can be made. This could definitely help boost your search rankings up. Number 4 is speed. Speed is huge for Google. And if you have a slow website, that means you're getting penalized in search rankings. This is a really big one. Google wants websites that are fast. So that means that you have to optimize your images, you have to optimize your code, and you have to be on a server that can handle the amount of traffic that you're getting. These are all really important things. And we've seen recently a lot of people saying, I was doing really good with Google rankings and I was on, top for certain keywords, and then all of a sudden it just stopped and I'm nowhere to be found anymore. And then we do a page speed test and we realize that their page is running super slowly. So what can you do to fix this? Well, Google has this really awesome tool called PageSpeed Insights. If you go onto your website and actually do a right click and hit inspect, you can do a page speed audit. It's really awesome. It gives you a ton of information and recommendations on how you can improve things. Now, so I won't lie, a lot of the things in the Google PageSpeed Insights tool are things that are more technical, and you would probably need a developer or a server admin to implement those changes. But on your end, there's definitely certain things that you can do to make your website load a lot quicker. One is image optimization. Make sure that you're uploading appropriately sized images to your website. There's never a reason to upload a 3,000 pixel wide image to a space that's only 300 pixels. It's just going to be longer of a download and it's going to slow your site down. So take into account the size of the images in different areas on your website and just make sure you're uploading things appropriately. Another thing is plugins. If you have a ton of plugins on your site that you aren't actually using, or you could change some things up and get rid of things, definitely do that, because the more plugins that you have on the site, the longer it's going to take to load. So only use things that you really need. If it's something like a social media plugin, maybe you can just put links hard-coded into the site. There's really no need for those types of plugins a lot of times. It's just take some inventory of what you have going on and make sure that everything is really necessary, because that definitely affects load times as well. We did a really informative video on the PageSpeed Insights tool that I'll link down below. If you want more information on kind of how this tool works and some of the updates that were recently made to it, definitely check that out. I think it would be really helpful if speed is a concern for you as far as search rankings go. Number 5, your website is not mobile friendly. You guys, it's 2019. You have to have a mobile friendly website. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Google penalizes you if you don't have a mobile friendly design. So if you're wondering why your search rankings are taking a hit and you don't have a mobile responsive website, that's probably the biggest culprit. That and speed are the two big ones. So if you don't have a mobile responsive design, you really need to get on board with it. Redesign the pages, make them mobile friendly, make them easy to navigate on a phone, because statistics show that a majority of people are actually searching and looking through your content on their phones. So if you don't have a mobile friendly design, you're taking a huge hit in rankings. So those are 5 things regarding the design of your website that really take into effect nowadays with search rankings. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.